Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. This is my review. Teen Mom 2, Season 8 Reunion Part 1. Hope everyone had a good day today. It's Monday. Well, technically it's Tuesday because it's 12:30 in the morning. But I still hope everyone had a great day today. I had a good day today. I went to work. I was productive and all that good stuff. And yeah, so let's get into this reunion. I don't like how they did this reunion this time. You know, usually when they do the reunions for Teen Mom, they do each mom one by one. Usually the first episode is geared to, part 1 is geared towards 2 of the moms. Part 2 was geared towards the other 2. But this time, they kind of talked to each person a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They did a little bit of talking, and they didn't do everything. And I'm looking like, I was trying to get through a whole person's storyline. And, you know, get some of the good stuff. But most of the good stuff look like it's going to be on tomorrow's episode. Well, not tomorrow, but next week episode. I mean, this episode was still cool, but at the same time, I'm like, why y'all change it up? What y'all change stuff up for? Don't be messing with my flow of how things go. You know, the beginning of it, they showed like a part of Teen Mom, the London version of Teen Mom. I do not watch Teen Mom, simply because their accents are funny to me. And I don't think I can take them serious. I just realized I don't have lipstick on. Yeah, that's how tired I am. I just, it's like, whatever. But I fast forward through that whole little part. Like, I didn't even care about it too much. I was like, you know, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. I haven't watched Teen Mom at all. So, I don't feel like it's point in me starting to watch it. I have enough shows that I already watched. So when that went off, they then asked the girls of Teen Mom 2 how they feel about the girl from Teen Mom dealing with, I guess, like cheating and trust issues. And I'm like, but you asking a whole bunch of girls who was all cheated on in one way or the other. I think the only person who wasn't cheated on was Leah with the twins' with the twins' dad, Corey. I don't think Corey ever cheated on Leah. Jerry might have, but we know I don't think we know. I don't wait, because Joe and Javi didn't cheat on her. This Brianna dealt with cheating, Chelsea dealt with cheating, and probably Jenelle dealt with cheating. But it is what it is. So from there, they kind of start off with Kail's story anyway. And we see how Kail is saying how her and the baby daddy number 3, Chris, how he cheated on her. Because like, he cheated on me through my whole pregnancy. Like, the whole pregnancy, he was cheating. You know, I found out by looking in his cell phone. Ladies, be careful what you look for. So when you're looking for stuff, you will find it. And she found what she was looking for. He says how Chris has not been around for the past month at least. How they have no interaction currently. So he's basically not there for the child. And, you know, she says how she went through crazy stuff with him through the whole pregnancy from start to end. It was so much to go through, but she's happy she made it through. And for me, I call that karma. And I'm not saying I wish anything bad on her. I'm not saying that she deserved whatever it is that she went through. What I'm saying is, you had this idea in your head. I don't want to be with Javi. I don't want to have no kids with Javi. I want to move on to be better and be happier. And then the next situation you moved on to was just as bad, or if not worse, than the situation that you just left. Meaning, if you were going to leave Javi alone to be happy, you should have took the time to be happy by your damn self. But what you chose to do was go run up behind another dude, and then you got pregnant, and now you is basically a single parent for that particular kid, because as you said, the father isn't in the picture at all. You know, Dr. Drew asked her, you know, like, what have you been looking into therapy? You know, dealing with how, you know, your mom isn't around, you don't have much family. And she's like, well, no. He's like, don't you think you can benefit from therapy? She's like, yeah, And she would. You know, she has honestly been through a lot in life. But I think she would do good for talking to someone. But I feel like she would have to be literally open and honest to talk to someone. Meaning she has to be open enough to let out whatever it is that she has inside of her, that she's holding in as this shell of protection. You know what I'm saying? But she also needs to be open and honest to receive the advice from a professional on how she can help or how she can just be better. You know what I'm saying? So, Dr. Drew asked, like, where did you meet him? Like, where did you meet, you know, baby at number 3, Chris? And she said she met him at school. And then he was like, you know, were there any signs, you know, in the beginning that something, you know, that he wasn't a good guy? And she basically said, well, you know, hindsight is 20/20. And he like, I know that, but did you see something? And she's like, well, yeah, you know, I did. Right. And you ignored it. Because I feel like you are about self. I feel like you would have been better off. Still, I'm not saying that she should have stayed with Javi. What I'm saying is, once you divorce Javi, you should have sat your hot ass down and closed your legs. You should have just sat down. Even if you want to date other people, I get that, date other people, do whatever. But you should not have gotten pregnant again, because at this point in time, Kailyn is a very smart girl. She's aware of how not to get pregnant. You know what I'm saying? Like, at this stage in life. And I don't think baby number 3 was an accident. Like, how do you plan? I think that at one point she said the baby was planned. How do you plan to have a baby with a man you know in one way or the other isn't a good person? It's like you had a baby hoping it would make him stay with you and not be cheating. And the complete opposite happened. He cheated the whole pregnancy. And now you are a single parent to a 3rd child. Thank God you have great parents or great fathers for your first 2, because God forbid you were a single mom of 3 boys with no male figures in their life. So, you know, Kailyn, work on that. She does say how her and Joe are on good terms, that, you know, they're able to talk and communicate, which is good. I remember how bad they used to argue. But she says, you know, her and Javi were on good co-parenting terms, but she hasn't talked to him. She just said she hadn't talked to him, so she don't know how they are. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how you can say that you don't know how you are with somebody and you haven't talked to someone that you co-parent with. And we know that y'all have to exchange Lincoln. So that part for me was weird, but it is what it is. So that's all they did with Kailyn. I'm looking like, where's the rest of the story? Can we bring Javi out? Can we bring Joe out? Can we please talk about, you know, we just need to get all of that situated. But that will be the next episode. So next they bring out Leah. Leah's story, just as the season was, it was very easy. You know, she just speaks about how, you know, he asked her about how she, you know, about her dropping out of regular school, getting into online school, and asked her what she wants to do. And she says, I want people to feel beautiful inside and out, and I want to be a motivational speaker. But my thing is, what they got to do with a class that you taking online? Like, are you taking motivational speaking online? Is there a beautiful inside and out class you're taking online? I mean, she didn't answer his question. So for me, I'm looking like, does that mean she not really in school online? She dropped out of school and said she was going to take classes online, and then she just hasn't done it because she showed up and answered the question. She talked about people seeing her at her worst. Because when he asked about her saying at one, when he asked about her at one point being suicidal, and he was like, you know, like, when was that? And she's like, well, you know, you guys have seen me at my worst. That's the time, them couple seasons when her ass was high and people knew she had a drug problem and they ignored the fact that she had a drug problem and they kept telling her it was anxiety. No, it was a drug problem. And it pissed me off that for so many seasons, y'all didn't address that girl drug problems, but y'all be happy to address Jenelle drug problems, Amber drug problems, Adam's drug problems, Ryan drugs problem, Macy's child's father. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are quick to address other people's stuff, but no one ever addressed hers. And she was clearly addicted to something. Whether she was addicted to pills that she was given for her anxiety, we all know that prescription addiction is a real thing. So I felt like when that happened, y'all did a disservice to people who could be later on, could be dealing with that situation. Y'all didn't address it head on. Y'all use like little scapegoat words. Oh, I'm going to get better. I'm going to a center to get better. No, you're going to rehab. Okay? Yeah. But I got all off topic. But not off topic, but you know what I mean to go there. But yeah, she says at that point when she was on drugs, she was at her worst, that she felt suicidal. And he like, well, what kind of brought you out of it? And she's like, you know, my girls brought me back, you know, from that. I think that's wonderful, so much so that when they showed her on the stage today, I said, oh my God, she looks completely beautiful and healthy. In prior seasons and prior reunions, she's looked like a person on drugs trying to look presentable. I felt like today she looked put together. She looked healthy, you know, mentally, emotionally, physically. She looked healthy. She looked like she was aware of her own life, I guess is the, you know, I felt she looked like she was in a better place. She looked like she is no longer suffering from her depression, anxiety, addiction that she was dealing with a couple seasons ago. And I commend her for that. Because for a moment, I mean, Leah looked like she was, you know, going down a path. And even this season, she got a better grasp of her life and how to be a mother to 3 kids and how to deal with everything that comes along with being the mother of 3 kids, one who has a disability. And I felt like, I was like, oh my gosh, she saw her, like her hair was cute. She looked like a person who is dealing with life well. Like, even though her life isn't perfect, she doesn't look like, oh my God, I'm about to just go crazy. And I thought that was a good thing. So, yeah. And, you know, she's great, so it's great, and it is what it is. Chelsea, again, it was really easy. You know, they brought about the whole Adam thing and how Arby would question why she had to have supervised visits with her dad. And she admits that she hasn't told Aubrey that her dad has a drug problem, but she just said, like, you know, your dad doesn't make the best decisions, so because of that, you know, you have to have these type of visits. But she's like, I haven't said why yet. I haven't figured out how to appropriately say that to her of her age. So Dr. Drew did suggest for her to say, you know, just say he's ill, say he's sick, which most parents do. Some parents will use, you know, so-and-so is sick, they don't feel good, they're not well, and that's why this and this and this is happening. And she's like, you know what, that's a good thing to do. I can probably explain it to her that way. So I thought that was good. She did say how she feels bad that she gave Aubrey a drug-addicted father. You didn't give Aubrey a drug-addicted father. Aubrey's father gave Aubrey a drug-addicted father. When you met him, he wasn't that way. And it's only his fault that he's addicted to drugs in whatever capacity he is addicted to drugs in. She spoke about, you know, it being easier her second time around having a baby, how happy she has been married, you know, to Cole, how great he is as a husband, as a person, as, you know, in addition to their lives. And that was basically it. You know, I said every time, you know, Chelsea is very easy story. It's very, she's a mom. You know what I'm saying? She's a wife and she's a mom, and that's her life. It can be boring. Let's be honest. It can be boring, but I like that her life is positive. I like that it's not a whole bunch of crazy drama in it. You know what I'm saying? I don't need a person to have drama in their life for it to be interesting. I just think she's boring. Like, I think I'm boring, but I'm boring with antics, so I'm not that boring. But I feel like Chelsea's just like, okay, we're gonna give the baby a bottle. Okay, we're gonna go pick up Aubrey from school. Okay, Cole, we're gonna make faces at the baby. And that's all that it is. So I think it's great that she's in a great space and she's happy. She's found love and she's married. I'm just bored with it. And next, Jenelle. Was Jenelle last year? The whole Jenelle thing, to me, is crazy. You know, Jenelle is emotional. And she still says how much she doesn't care about her mom. And how she hates her mom. And how she's so upset that she did not have her mom at her wedding to help her put her wedding dress on. My dad didn't walk me down the aisle. None of my family was there. But they weren't there because they don't support who you married. America don't support who you married. Solely because he seems like he beats you. He seems extremely aggressive. He seems like he might beat the children. And sometimes when you are with someone, your family won't accept it because they see something, whether what they see is true or not, they see something that you don't see. And it's hard at times for family members to accept a mate when they feel like they're not going to do that person right. Like, it's something I don't know. I can't fully support that. And you made a choice to stay with him. And you made the choice to marry him. So not only did your family make the choice to not support you, you made a choice to not listen to your family, and you married who you loved. Now your family is David and the people within your home. That's what it is. You know, Dr. Drew kind of calls her out on her lack of care for Barbara and says, I think it's bullshit when you say that. Because when you talk about her, I see the pain in your eyes, and you do miss her. And she's like, no, it's just painful to talk about her. And he's like, I know, but that's still an emotion that you need to deal with. You know, she says how all she cares about is her kids, her friends, and David. You know, that's all that matters in life. And he's like, you know, that's not true. Because you still have this emotional reaction to Barb. And she's like, you know, she's already sold 3 stories just these past 3 weeks to the online tabloids. I always wonder, how does she know that? Like, does Barb do a story and it says Barb said to us? Or is it like sources say Barb said to so and so and so and so? I just wonder how she always know exactly what stories Barb or Nathan's mom or Nathan's girlfriend is selling to these tabloids. And my thing is, at some point, you just have to not read the tabloids. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't go to the tabloid site, you won't know what's there. Okay? Yeah. Not saying that Barb is innocent. I don't think she's innocent, but I think Barb has done her share to have this detrimental relationship with Jenelle, too. I just feel like Jenelle doesn't try to fix it. You know what I'm saying? Barbara would mess up, but she'll try to fix it. I don't think Jenelle ever tries to fix it with them. And that kind of, you know, it's crazy. So, she brings up how she has had concerns about bruises on Kaiser's buttocks. And she says there was like a hand bruise, like someone, like, you know, spanked his butt. And she's like, yeah, I saw the bruise. So I called, you know, Nathan's mom and said, why does this bruise on his butt? I guess it was after he came back and said Nathan or whatever. And she's like, no, that wasn't from us. That probably was from you or David. And, you know, when Kaiser's grandma blames David or Jenelle, and Janelle's like, that's, you know, we don't do spanking in our house. We do time out. We, you know, like, we put you in the corner. I call bullshit just because David does seem aggressive. He does seem like he whoops the kids. That's just my personal opinion. Dr. Drew then asked her, like, why did she marry David? And she's like, you know, he's great, he's protective, and he's passionate about his family. And she said how it hurts her that people badges him as if he's this bad person. And Dr. Drew said this, he's like, but can you see how he's very aggressive? And so people can take that as him being abusive. And she's like, yeah, but, you know, he's not. You know, I do let him know sometimes that, you know, when he's upset, I try to calm him down, but they don't show that on TV. Because when he get upset, y'all kick the cameras out. So they like, I don't know if they have footage of it. What I know is when we see him getting turned up, one of y'all tell the cameras to leave. So how can they show you calm him down if every time he get hyped up, you make the cameras leave? That's y'all fault. You know, it is what it is. So, she then says, well, you know what, I guess that's true, but still, Nathan is the real abuser. Nathan is facing charges of strangling his old girlfriend. I'm like, does he? I mean, he really does. I didn't know that. I don't follow them off camera and stuff like that. Let's talk about the real abuser, is what she said. And I'm like, well, that's kind of crazy. So as Dr. Drew and Jenelle are on stage having a conversation, David is in the back saying, this is such bullshit. I can't believe this. He's just making her mad. He's making her angry. I can't believe this. He's just upset. He then says, we're leaving after this. He's just a drama queen. He's probably a faggot. I get very fucking offended when people use derogatory names against people based on their race, based on their size, based on their gender, based on their sexuality. Faggot, nigger. You know what I'm saying? I don't like those words. And I think when I feel like the fact that he says the F word, he probably says the N word. That's how I feel about people. I feel like if you say one derogatory, like when people use the word midget, you know what I'm saying? When people use the word retarded, those aren't nice words. You see, I whisper them. Those aren't nice words to use when you are speaking of someone's period. So I feel like David probably running around saying the N word because he said the F word about, which is a derogatory name for a homosexual person. And I'm like, he has to know he's mic'd. So you just don't care that you said that. You know what I'm saying? Which makes you more of a piece of shit because you are consciously aware that you are on camera saying that Dr. Drew is a drama queen and probably the F word. One, he's a married man. Two, I don't think he's gay. No. And he's on the show to not to push their buttons, but to ask the questions to these girls who are going through things. It's been the formula for the past 8 seasons. Okay? It ain't nothing new. Jenelle used to this. Jenelle ain't new to this. You new to this. And you really shouldn't be because you was on there last season. It just pissed me. It pissed me off. Jenelle says how, he does not make her feel insecure, and, wait, what else did she say? He doesn't make me feel insecure at all. When he gets aggressive, I tell him to calm down. David is still backstage getting pissed off. He only brings up bull crap. He brings up things to make her cry. He wants to pull strings and be the puppet master. And, when I go out there, I'm not answering any of his questions. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to tell him what I think about him. And ain't nobody going to like it. So you can see the producer seeing it's going a whole different way. It's going left. That's right. It's going left. It's going left. It's going left. And they end the segment. He walks up to Jenelle. And you see one producer who I've seen in a lot of the shows. I think he's like one of the top producers or whatever. I can't think what his name is right now. But you see him watching David walk up to Jenelle. And he's looking like, what is this? And, David says to her, I'm leaving. And she's like, what? Why? What's wrong? What's wrong? And he's like, I'm leaving right now. And are you coming with me? And she's like, why? What happened? He won't tell her. He's like, look, I'm leaving. You're either coming with me or you're not. And then he kind of just walks away. And she's like, okay. So then she's like, I'll be right back. So she gets up to leave, okay? And she's walking in, they're walking in the hallway. And she's like, what's wrong? What's going on? He's not talking at all. They then get to the dressing room that says Jenelle. And he tries to get in it. He's like, why is my door locked? First of all, it ain't your door. It's her door. Second of all, I'm pretty sure they locked the door so no one else can get in there while she's on stage. Because she was just on stage, stupid. From there... he's just saying how he'll tell her in the car. So they basically leave the taping. Like they literally leave the taping. Jenelle is just saying, he's my husband, I'm his wife, and I can't let him leave and go to the hotel by himself because then he'll say that I was his wife and I didn't support him. But you at work. Teen mom is your job. You are paid to be there. Your husband does not have the right to come up to your job and get pissed off at the job that you are paid to do and then tell you we leave it and don't even explain to you the reason he's upset. How? Y'all knew y'all were there to have a conversation about what happened this season. And for him to have a whole pissy hissy fit is stupid. And it shows that he probably is going to be cussing and fussing and being aggressive. And he don't want to be on camera doing it. Simple and plain as that. And, he's my husband and I have to support him, so I have to leave with him. And they leave. You see the producers like, can we talk about this? Can we talk? And they're in the car. And then again, Jenelle doesn't know why they're leaving. At all. At all. And I don't think David makes money. So wouldn't you want your wife to be at work? It's the same show she's done for years. And it's not any more negative now than it was before. It's just Dr. Drew is calling her on her bullshit and saying the reason people don't like your ass is because your ass is aggressive. Okay? Nathan is on the show. You know, Nathan just says how he doesn't like how he feels like David is abusive. He brings up the episode where Kaiser was screaming, "Feed me!" And Nathan yanked him up by his arm and like took him away or whatever. He's like, for me, I think that's him doing too much. That's a form of abuse. I can't believe he did it. It's crazy. I feel like other things are happening. In that same aspect, his mom is there and she comes out. And like she wasn't supposed to come out, but because Jenelle said some things, she had a rebuttal to it. And she's like, you know, Jenelle is making it seem as if, you know, it is what it isn't. She's like, you know, I raised my kids. You know, I was a single mom. For like 19 years. You know, I didn't dare bring anyone else around my children. I wanted to raise them. You know, I raised them right. And I think when she said that, people are gonna say, "Well, he has made mistakes." I don't think she's saying her child is perfect. I think she was saying, "I think my son is a good person. I think my son is a good boy. I raised him right. Don't mean he's perfect, but I raised him right." You know, and she brings up how she just wants to keep Kaiser safe, how she's worked in child welfare for years and she has seen the warning signs of a child being abused. She brings up how one time Kaiser told her that David punched him in the head. And y'all know kids they tell. Kids also make up stuff, but they also tell. So it's a thing of you have to be aware of when the kid is making up stuff and when they're telling you stuff. And she's like, I see the signs, so that's why I filed for emergency custody of Kaiser because he be having these little bruises and I don't know where it's coming from. And I feel like there could possibly be drug use in the house. Everybody feel the same way. And that's why I feel like David doesn't like the cameras around because it's a proof of what people suspect. And if the cameras aren't around, they can't show nothing. They don't have no proof of nothing. They don't have any proof of him being aggressive. They don't have proof of him being angry because the cameras aren't there. Okay? Think about that. She brings up how Jenelle only brought up the bruise on Kaiser's buttocks because she's like, I told Jenelle that because I suspect something's going on, I'm going to take photos of him when he gets to our house and when he leaves our house. This is proof of what any bruises he had coming here. And if he came here with no bruises and he leaves here with no bruises, any bruises he get is from you. And she's like, you know, she was basically doing that so that when she goes to court, she has the case to get custody. And she's like, you know, she just thinks he's not safe in the household. Personally, I agree. I mean, I do. I'm not saying Jenelle is the same drug addict she used to be. I think there are things that seem crazy. Okay? And that's all I can say. Barb was also on the show. She is basically just crying, saying how she misses Jenelle, how Jenelle hates her. She wants to be back friends, back as mother and daughter with Jenelle. How she feels Jenelle should have or could have came back and get Kaiser Jay sooner. And she's like, but, you know, she didn't. And I just, you know, I feel like he's not safe there yet. You know, she admits that she doesn't like David, but she's like, that's who Jenelle married, so, you know, that's her life. I can't change that. She's like, I just have a bad feeling. And there's nothing worse than being a parent and having a bad feeling your child is doing something wrong and you can't do nothing to stop it because they're an adult. Horrible. Okay? And that's how she feels. And again, I'm not saying Barb innocent. Barb has her fair share of craziness in her as well. But again, the way that Jenelle treats Barb is horrible. Okay? Completely horrible. When Barb does something dumb, she at least attempts to make it up to Jenelle. Jenelle she hates Barbara. She does. She hates her. And the bad part about it is, as much as Jenelle hates Barb, David helps her hate her more as her husband. And, you know, that's all that it kind of was. So, that was my review. Next week should be better because there's going to be more stuff. The other women will be there. So, I am Jay Lee. This is Jay's Corner. Drop any comments below that you had about the reunion. I think I must be tired. Like, my energy just got really, really low. If I was really boring, if I was really, you know, like, monotone, my bad. I'll fix it tomorrow. So, I am Jay Lee. This is Jay's Corner. Peace.